Hello, brothers and sisters of faith. Welcome to the Archangel Online channel. Today, we are going to imagine how God created the world. In the beginning, there was nothing, only God, the source of everything. The Lord decided to create the universe, extending his hand, and a sphere of light, a spark of potential, floated upwards. With his power, God made that small sphere of light explode and expand, forming galaxies, stars, and planets. Space-time bent, creating paths for light to travel. Gravity united cosmic particles, shaping the cosmos in its majestic complexity, and thus the universe was born with its physical laws and deep mysteries. The stars lit up like celestial candles, and the planets began to orbit. Some were molten, their surfaces boiling with volcanic activity, while others were frozen, with landscapes carved by glaciers. On one of these planets, nestled in the habitable zone around a star, life began to stir. God molded the elements, forging worlds with his divine hands. He painted the skies with unimaginable colors, creating auroras and sunsets that defy our understanding. God shaped the continents and the oceans. Dry land appeared, and he called the dry part earth and the waters seas. Imagine the mountains rising, the valleys forming, and the rivers flowing. On that day, God also created vegetation, plants, herbs, and fruit trees, each according to its kind. The green fields, lush forests, and blooming gardens were formed by the power of God. God created the sun, the moon, and the stars. Imagine the sun rising on the horizon, the moon shining at night, and constellations dotting the sky. These celestial bodies were not just luminous. They were time markers, season regulators, and symbols of divine faith. On the sixth day, God looked at everything he had made, but something essential was still missing: the crown of his creation. With the majestic gesture, God said, "Let us make man in our image and likeness." And from the dust of the earth, he formed the first human. His skillful hands sculpted every detail: the curious eyes, the tender smile, the fingers eager to touch the world. God breathed life into the man's nostrils, and he stood up looking around in awe. He would be called Adam, and his mission was to take care of creation. God placed him in the Garden of Eden, a paradise of beauty and abundance. Then God created Adam's companion. He put Adam to sleep, and while he dreamed, God took a rib from his side, and with it formed Eve, the woman. Her hair was like strands of gold, and her eyes shone with intelligence and compassion. Adam and Eve walked together through the garden, exploring every corner. They talked with the animals, tended to the plants, and marveled at the harmony of nature. God gave them only one command: not to eat from the tree of knowledge. But the cunning serpent whispered doubts in their ears. Eve looked at the tree, its leaves shimmering like silver in the sunlight. She picked the fruit and gave it to Adam, who also ate. Knowledge flooded their minds, and they realized their nakedness. In his mercy, God clothed them with garments of skin, but sin had entered the world, and Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden. The earth, once perfect, was now tainted, but God promised a Redeemer, someone who would bring hope and salvation. And so, the sixth day witnessed the birth of humanity. Adam and Eve, with their imperfections and desires, became the guardians of creation. They looked up at the sky, where the stars shone like promises, and knew that the story was just beginning. Thus, the universe continued to expand, dancing in its cosmic choreography. God remained the invisible master, watching every note, every movement. The story is still being written, and we, as part of this narrative, have the power to choose our role. Perhaps one day, humanity will look up at the starry sky and remember that we are all fragments of that first sphere of light. And who knows, maybe we can find our way back to harmony, to a connection with the divine and with each other.